Hey guys, thanks for watching. So, you know, we all know summer is almost over and fall is almost here and the holidays are coming with that as well. So I'm doing a promotion to celebrate that. Every house that you buy through me that closes between now and Thanksgiving, I will pay 1% of the purchase price back towards your closing costs. So I'm calling that my something to be thankful for promotion because it goes till Thanksgiving. So if you or anyone you know is looking to buy a home and wants to save some cash out of pocket, hey, let me know. Anyways, today we're going to talk about the Carlyon-North Governor Stevens Wildwood neighborhood groupings. Today is my first neighborhood video. I'm excited about this stuff. I've just been looking at the details of the transactions, for quite a bit. I love basking in the information. So, hey, we're going to go right into it. All right. So the neighborhood grouping, I'm going to look at a group of neighborhoods actually, are here around here. You know, you got where Highway 101 takes off from I-5, just at the base of the Capitol Lake area. So the neighborhoods specifically are right, bam, there. Now there's Wildwood, Governor Stevens, and Carlyon-North, and then the spot to the east of them. It's kind of like I'm still grouping it in there, but it didn't have a neighborhood designation, so I'm just gonna call it Wild Governor Carlyon. And so, anyways, that's where they're at. All right. So these the houses that make up these neighborhoods, they're all generally older, as you can see. The three east neighborhoods, Wildwood, Governor Stevens, and Carlyon-North, they're all older. Built in the 30s or 40s. They're all, generally, 2 to 3 bathrooms. I'm sorry, 2 to 3 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bathrooms. A number of them in Wildwood only had 1 bathroom. And then, anyways, the Wild Governor Carlyon. They're generally newer homes. You know, the average age was the 60s. If you drive through there, you can tell there's like a clear style difference. And homes seem to be 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Although one house had 6 rooms and 3.5 bathrooms, so it was a big old one. Days on market. That's the average DOM there. So Wildwood and Carlyon-North, man, those homes sold fast. Governor Stevens, there were only 2 homes that sold. One of them took about 60-something days or 70 days. The other one took like 2 days. So obviously, kind of skews the average there. But then Wild Governor Carlyon, they sold in about a month on average or so. All right. So commute time. All right. So as you can see right here, we got spots people might want to drive to outside of Thurston County. So JBLM, it's about 27 minutes. Obviously, people who commute there have to know that traffic can change that. Same thing to the Tacoma area. It's about 36 minutes. Sheldon, about a little over half an hour. I think traffic out there is generally smoother, so you don't have like you don't have to deal with traffic as much. And same thing with Centralia. It's about 28 minutes, and driving there is usually pretty smooth. So these neighborhood areas are right by the freeway. I mean, you're talking like anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes from when you leave your house to when you're on the freeway. So that makes these commute times really good. So commuting inside of Thurston County to the West Olympia area, you're looking at about 11 minutes. You probably hit the freeway and take 101 up there. If you're going to the Hawks Prairie area, you probably hit the freeway and take I-5. You're looking at about 27 minutes or so. Maybe a little less than that. I think a lot of it depends on traffic. Sometimes it can begin to slow down a tad up there. Centralia, not Centralia, the Tumwater government offices down there, it's really not too bad. You just hop on Capitol and go south. You're looking at about a 12-minute drive. And then to the Capitol grounds and all the office or government buildings and offices there, it's about 7 minutes. You just get on Capitol and drive north instead. So that's cool. Alright, so around the area, there are a number of great parks. There's Watershed Park. I'm going to do a video on that here before too long. There's Trillium Park right in the middle of it all. It doesn't have parking, so it's a walk-to area only. Depending on where you're at in the neighborhood, it can be anywhere from like a 1 to 8 minute walk to get there. And Watershed is about a 7-minute drive. Tumwater Historical Park, it's got a huge playground and it's a huge park. If you got kids, it's just awesome. I'm going to do a video about that as well sometime in the future. Tumwater Falls Park is really pretty. You got the falls, like a big old, it's like a half mile of just these gorgeous falls. You can walk there, and that's about a 6-minute drive as well. It's not really great for walking to. Either is Tumwater Historical Park, just the way the roads are set up, but either is Watershed. You really need to drive to those ones. But Trillium, you gotta walk to. Anyways, there's great parks. They're beautiful, typical Pacific Northwest beauty. Alright, so these are restaurants or businesses, but these are restaurants nearby. So as you can see those groupings right there, there's a lot here. In the little northern spot there, you got this cool building, and it's got a number of groupings in there. And these are the restaurants and their Google reviews. You see the stars and the amount of reviews there. And then down in that bigger circle down south, there's a lot there as well. And they're all pretty highly rated. I think Subway got the lowest one, but I mean, but other than that, there's a lot of great restaurants really close by. I mean, depending on where you're at in the neighborhood, you could probably walk to a lot of these in about 10 minutes, I bet, and then drive to them even faster. Okay, so here is some information that this is detailed stuff. I've been studying the transactions in this neighborhood, all the transactions for the last 8 months, and there have been 20 homes that have sold. There have been more than that, but I'm not including fixer-uppers and repossessions because they're not typical. And what I've done is I've gone through and I've tagged or noted all the specific things, like remodeled bathrooms, desirable floors, newer roofs, fenced yards, and I have this big old formula. And the idea of that formula is to FOIL out the value from each of those individual things. So you have the home, you have what it's sold for, and then it's to try to parcel out, how each of those factors plays into the whole of that home's price, and then to take that information and apply it across the entire neighborhood, both for accuracy, to check multiple data points, but also to give estimates of what maybe someone could expect to add to their house if they were to put those features into there. So here are some of my initial findings. Now, I will be further fine-tuning this formula. I will continue to monitor multiple neighborhoods and apply this formula and check it against what homes actually sell for. So take this with a grain of salt. But for the time being, what I found is that, and so, Carlyon-North, I keep wanting to call it Carolyn for some reason, but Carlyon-North, out of about 9 homes, 6 of them had updated cabinets, 4 of them had updated appliances, and 5 of them had updated counters. So we weren't seeing complete, kitchen updates. What we were seeing is someone would go in and maybe just replace the appliances with updated ones and leave the rest, or maybe someone would go in and would have new cabinets, but they wouldn't really, they'd have nice cabinets, they put maybe shaker cabinets in the 90s, but then they would still have like Formica countertops and stuff. And so that's why it's kind of, weird number there. But on average, places that had updated cabinets tended to sell for about 15 grand more. Updated appliances tended to, add about $9,000 to a house. That FLUD kit, that flood kit, that means for a fully updated kitchen. Homes, the fully updated one, there were a couple of them in there, and they tended to have about $36,000 more in value. And you can look over the rest of this. Updated bathrooms, see how it says percentage there? The reason it says percentage is because, a lot of these homes would have multiple bathrooms, generally like, 2-ish or, 1 3/4 baths. And what they would do is a lot of them, they would only update one bathroom. Or they would update part of all their bathrooms. Like, these bathrooms would have, updated and new vanities, but they would still have the old toilets and showers. And so I kind of had to go through and get specific regarding how much updating was in fact done. But you can see there that, so what that number to the right of the percentage means is that's a full bathroom, that's how much it would a fully updated bathroom, that's about how much it would tend to add in value in that particular neighborhood. So, so for example, in Wildwood, fully updated bathroom would tend to add about $9,700. So yeah, and then desirable floors, it had desirable floors because I would say there are 3 types of flooring in my mind right now anyways. There is like updated flooring, like, so it's a trendy color, it's a good, well-made brand, and it looks, it's got a good look to it, but it's new, installed maybe in the last 10 years, it's kind of in today's style. So there's those floors. And then there's your your original floors, like from the 30s or 40s, and they're still in good shape, and they have those exposed, and they're using those in the house. Both of those I would call desirable floors. What I wouldn't consider desirable floors are things that are still from like the 70s to the 90s, maybe 60s to the 90s, outdated styles. And so when I say desirable floors, either really old floors in good shapes or really new floors, and they tend to add. Those who have one or the other tend to have quite a bit of value. For example, the Carlyon-North neighborhood, 4 places have have desirable floors, and they tend to go for about $12,000 more. The Wild Governor Carlyon, only about 3 of them, about half of them have desirable floors. Oops, I think I left that 3 as a dollar amount. So, anyways, and it tends to add, 11,500 to it. So, this is cool. I have a giant. I have sheets and pages of information. These are just a couple of the things I thought these would be more interesting. But I'm really excited about fine-tuning this formula more and checking it against future home sales to kind of further fine-tune my predictive abilities on what homes will sell for. So now, obviously, this stuff doesn't quantify everything. I found that when figuring out the formula, some homes they would have similar features on paper. They'd even be close together, but they would still sell for significantly different prices. And obviously different days on markets too. And so there are things that this doesn't quantify. This is just information from the MLS. But I mean, the layout of the house, the feel of the house, that's what you get subjective there. Maybe someone goes into a home and it reminds them of their childhood, so they love it and they're willing to pay more for it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me, drewforyou.com. Once again, remember that promotion if you or anyone you know is looking to buy a home. Otherwise, take it easy.